The first game that comes to my mind, it's an early one, played it in 1974. And my opponent was no one else but my first coach, Oleg Privorotsky. He decided to take his chance, so to play against me in this local team championship. I played for a junior team and he played for one of the clubs that he belonged to. And I guess he just wanted to teach me a lesson. And he did quite well. Just in the opening stage, I have to admit, he outplayed me. If you look at this position, you could see that, white has great weaknesses on the queen side, and just a matter of time, just when black puts all the pieces here and there's so many weak squares, my only chance is probably to attack. Machine can tell you that, I could do probably a decent job by defending here, but my mind was not on the defensive side. So first I wanted to push my g-pawn, but you cannot push it now because this pawn is under attack. So I wanted the queen to disappear, which is, again, odd move, but I'm not here just to criticize my moves that were made when I was 11, because I had a plan, and let's see how it worked. So he moved the queen, and now I could push the pawn. That's probably losing, as machine tells you, because black simply concentrate the pieces here, and the white attack, they go there. But this is something that always, attracted me. Yes, I'm totally lost on this side, but the black king is there, and if you just have this, invisible line that separates the board, you'll see all black pieces are here. Something can happen there. It did happen in the game, so black had to make a couple of serious mistakes, because objectively the position is lost. But I just wanted all my pieces just, to concentrate on this side. Queen b4, attacking my rook. I go back, queen takes b3, attacking the rook and the pawn, and rook d2. I lost completely the battle on one side, on the queen side, and this pawn is just marching. I have some chances. That's the king, and somehow Privorotsky got nervous. I could even feel it. He wasn't sure, so he could push the pawn. This computer will tell you it's not a big deal, but he wanted to stop white's attack. Actually, it creates some extra targets. So knight goes back, but now it opens the road for the queen. And white still has to consider it. That's what happens if this pawn advances. But now I create my first threat, checkmate. And this is something that it's always difficult psychologically for humans to contemplate. The best move, machine will tell you, will be bishop a5, just to attack, because machine is not being scared by some threats. But humans, to take the bishop away from the king when the king is in danger, and naturally, just bishop e7. You don't need bishop here. The pawn will advance just to keep it, under control. Actually, bishop does very little there, except the fact that it's standing on the way of some black pieces to help the king. Knight g4. And black was still doing more than fine by just playing this quiet move, rook a7, just to organizing this protection on the 7th rank. But again, it's difficult for humans to see this hidden resource. So Privorotsky played knight d7. He thought, fine, this knight comes back, everything will be protected, and it's just 2 more moves, and the pawn will be already here. But after bishop f3, so now computer will tell you that white is winning, which is, I didn't know when I played the game, but I just did all these moves. It was very natural. These white pieces going there, and black pieces there just far away from the king. So after queen c3, played g6. Now the mate is threatening knight f8, and now knight h6. So I'm still very proud to see that's the way the attack was conducted. I was 11. So now if black takes the knight, then the nice line rook g2, black the pawn, then we sacrifice the rook, and if black king tries to escape, then all of a sudden this bishop that was very passive joins the queen, and there's no defense from the mate. And if king goes there, then we give a check, and then just prepare the rook to deliver the final blow. So after knight h6 check, black went king h8, knight f7, Now took on h7 and brought my rook to a g2. And again, you see heavy pieces, black heavy pieces, they're far away, and the king is there, and white pieces all in the attack. My plan worked perfectly. So, and after queen takes d3, so still hoping that maybe with a check, so he can somehow defend the position. But now knight h6 check, king h8, and rook takes g7. And that's it. So you cannot take there because then queen g6 and mate next move. So Privorotsky resigned. I was very, very proud about the game. And at the next session of Botvinnik School, I presented it to my great teacher. And he looked at the game and said, no, that's not good. This is not a good style. So Botvinnik was always very skeptical about this kind of attacks. It reminded him of Tal and other aggressive players. And Botvinnik was more systemic. So he just, he didn't think the attack was well prepared, and he didn't like the way I just, gave up everything on the queen side. But still, I was proud of the game, and even my great teacher eventually, said a few nice words. By the way, you can recognize this structure. This is some sort of a King's Indian structure, but I played white. And it's not surprising that the next 3 games where I had the same type of play by just pushing my opponents from the familiar turf and creating complications, it all happened in the King's Indian. That was for decades my favorite opening.